we make our money however we do it, but they really don't know where our history came from. That's why I had both my daughters go to Plantation Road. I said,
What?
my 4-year-old who, my 4-year-old went to Plantation to Shack Road in New Orleans. She just had a good time, just played, you know what I'm saying? She didn't know, which is probably what young kids at that time did until they got older, my daughter's age, and their spirit was being broken, like what happened to Carrie.
Right.
They being whipped, they being beat. So we don't understand that. And then I had a white man tell me, he said, do you realize why a black man is distant, from his son?
Right.
Because if a son knew who his father was on the plantation, but the master had to discipline his father, that son would feel some kind of way and come out. So what they did was they made sure that strategically we had no connection. So all of that means something today. So when you feel that, how come I don't feel a longingness for my father? Like I think about my father, like, yeah, whatever, this is the way it's supposed to be because I was a baby. But no, that was what was put in me. So doing a movie like this is going to raise questions. And here's what I tell people. You ain't supposed to like the word nigga. If you did, there's something off with you. You're supposed to knee-jerk to that. You're supposed to knee-jerk to the violence of what's going on because you're human. And for a person to not is inhuman. So that is what the movie is supposed to do. It's supposed to wake you up. You do a movie about slavery. What you have to understand is that those types of things that we learn are going to dictate the way we are today. That's right. So if you never get a chance to see that, then you don't know why you reacting the way you react. Look, we talk about it all the time, light skin, dark skin, field nigga, house nigga, yard nigga. What that really was there was revolts on plantations, and they couldn't control the slaves. So what happens is that a guy named Willie Lynch went to all of the different plantations, and he said, listen, there's a way that you could pit them against each other. The light skin, which is really children of rape from the master having sex with his female slaves. You take the light skin ones, you put them in the house and you feed them cake, and you feed them cake in front of the caramel colors. Those are the yard niggas. And you don't feed them cake. But for the darker skin,
That's the word.
you put him in the field. And you don't feed him anything. And you do all of this in front of them. And for the next 500 years, the pitting of them against each other will keep us at odds with each other. We don't like to do business with each other because it comes from this. Anything that you do for 100 to 200 years, it becomes your DNA.
Right.
Yeah.
We have grief in our DNA, and that's something that our kids do not understand. Why we are the way we are, and this is why I have more patience with us, because you just can't erase that immediately. This is why I thought this movie was very important. When I talked to those girls after the movie, I said, let me explain some things to you, because you have to put it in the context of what was going on. It gives you an opportunity to speak on these things, because you know about it. These kids have never heard of Willie Lynch.
Yeah, they never heard. Listen, not only that, but you're in New Orleans, and you're talking to people in New Orleans, black people, who don't even know that plantations exist in their place. So my thing is like this. In New Orleans, at the Evergreen Plantation, there were 7,000 names of black babies that were killed. That were killed because the master didn't want a woman to have a kid, because you got to get back in the field.
Right.
So they would kill those babies, and they lay them down. And then they put names, just like they were in Vietnam. Because it was a strategic thing. Everything was about cotton. At that time, if you look at the money that was being made in cotton, these people were billionaires.